In this video, I'm going to share with you how to market a coaching business. And in particular, I'm going to give you some of my absolute best insider content that until now I've only ever shared inside of my Superstar Business Breakthrough Retreat. Get ready. So before I get into my absolutely magnificent content on this topic of how to market a coaching business, I want to share with you a little bit about who I am and why you should even listen to me. Whether you know me or not, you may not realize that I have been running a coaching practice now for 14 years, more than 14 years, as of this video recording. And the truth is, I didn't have it all figured out from the beginning. Surprise, surprise. I had to learn a lot of these lessons the hard way, as you well know. I'm sure you've done it too. And so these are some hard-won lessons. This is my absolute best content when it comes to the foundation for marketing your coaching business. And I'm going to get into both strategy and also tactics. You have to understand that over the last 14 years, I've tried pretty much everything. And by the way, I also have an MBA, which, to be totally honest with you, absolutely did nothing to teach me about how to market my own coaching business. In fact, what I learned about marketing my coaching business has come from the School of Hard Knocks and also from investing in a variety of coaching programs over the years. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in my own development in this area. I've hired coaches, I've hired speaking coaches, marketing coaches, social media coaches. I've done programs and events and all sorts of things. So everything you're getting here is the distillation of all of this down to these 6 key fundamentals. You ready? So in the world of marketing, a lot of marketing occurs as what is known as a push strategy. A push strategy is where we push our message onto people that generally, by and large, don't want it. A push strategy, for example, would be ads in the middle of a TV show that you're watching. You're watching the show, you're loving it, you're enjoying it, and boom, Big Pharma throws an ad for their latest erectile dysfunction drug, right? It's pushed on you. You didn't ask for it. Now, there's been a big trend and a big push lately towards a different kind of marketing, which is more of pull marketing. It's where people want the content and they actively go out and seek it and want to find it. And what I believe is that in the world of coaching and consulting, that pull marketing is way more effective. It's when people come to us and they want from us something. So I liken that's point number 1, is build a butterfly garden. Meaning, instead of going around trying to push your message on everybody, like someone going out chasing butterflies with a net, trying to catch one butterfly at a time, expending a whole lot of energy and just getting one butterfly and then capturing that butterfly and having to hang on to it and be worried that that butterfly is going to get out of the net somehow and leave. Instead, I look at marketing fundamentally as you're building a butterfly garden. Instead, you're taking all that energy that you would spend running around and you focus that energy on cultivating and nurturing a garden that sprouts flowers that attracts butterflies. So you spend your time tending to the garden. So in the world of marketing, in the world of coaching, what that looks like is instead of cold calling or Facebook ads and trying to get people to see your message, instead create a message that attracts people. Like these videos on YouTube. These videos that I do on YouTube are an example of building a butterfly garden. I'm attracting people with this content that's valuable, whether they buy from me or not. And that's the other thing about a butterfly garden, right? You're not sitting there trying to make sure no butterflies leave the garden. You know that as long as you keep planting flowers and you have beautiful flowers and you focus on that garden, more butterflies are going to come, and there's an abundance of butterflies, and butterflies can come and go as needed. And so that's the energy from which I recommend you begin your marketing. What can I cultivate? What can I build? What can I create that would attract those perfect butterflies, those perfect clients to me? And I'll get into more details of what that could look like a little bit later. Number 2 is all about alignment. Your personal alignment trumps any trends or any fads out there. And it's really at the core of building a beautiful butterfly garden. And that attraction starts with the energy you cultivate in yourself. Why do I say that? Well, people can feel us. Whether we realize it or not, whether it's conscious or subconscious, people can feel us. And in fact, science has shown crazy enough, and this is decades old, this isn't brand new science either. Science has shown that we project out from our bodies a signal, like an electromagnetic signal that can be measured from our heart. Now, we pump out signals from our brain, but we have to put electrodes on to get those. They're very small signals. They're not very amplified. They're not very strong. But the heart signal is very strong. And so scientists ask, well, what is the signal that we're sending out from our heart? What's the information encoded in that wave? And I say encoded in the wave because waves are encoders of information, just like radio waves or the TV waves that bring our TV signal, right? Or in the old days, I guess, now it's cable. But those waves, our cell phone, it operates on waves technology, right? Like 5G is a wave. So what's the wave? What's the information that our heart wave sends out? Well, it's emotional. Our emotional state literally gets encoded in this wave and sent out from our bodies. And guess what? People can feel it. We're literally emotion projecting machines walking around in the world. This has been studied by a place called Heart Math Institute. If you want to go deeper, you can check that out. I tell you this because this relates back to alignment. When we're in alignment, when we're firing on all cylinders, when we're feeling good about the work we're doing, when we're aligned with our mission, when we have a purpose, when we're taking care of ourselves, when we're living our values and our truths, all of those things are humming, then we're in alignment. And what happens, that signal that we send out just naturally is elevated. It's a more positive signal. And so if we want to market our coaching, consulting services, but we're operating from a low state, from a low energy state, from a low emotional state, from being out of alignment, because that's what creates those low energy, low emotional states, we are going to infuse our marketing with that energy. If you show up on a video camera like this from that energy, people are going to feel that. They're not going to resonate or respond, or at least the right people aren't. You might attract people, but might attract victims or people who aren't that great of a client fit for you as a coach. So number 2 is alignment trumps everything. Alignment is the most important thing for you to focus on. And from that place of alignment, cultivating that butterfly garden. The next thing to understand about marketing, and nobody likes to hear this, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is no magic bullet. Even if you find a magic bullet, it's not a magic bullet because you definitely don't want to have all your eggs in one basket in marketing. So what I mean by that is we need to have a marketing mix. You want to have multiple channels through which you are communicating and sending that signal out to the world to your people. If you depend on one channel, you never know when that channel might go away. For example, have a client whose wife spent years and many thousands of dollars buying AdWords on Facebook to build up her Facebook group. And she did something or said something or sold something. I don't know what happened, but Facebook took away her whole group. She doesn't even know what happened. I don't know what happens because she doesn't know what happened. She tried communicating with Facebook, couldn't get a hold of anybody. Ultimately, she lost thousands of people in her community, and that was her number one primary channel to communicate with her clients. So you must have a marketing mix. Instead of looking for that one magic bullet that's going to drive all your leads, I recommend having a mix of these 4 things: speaking, publishing, broadcasting, and networking. Speaking is obviously getting in front of an audience that loves your stuff, that's a perfect fit, and using that platform in order to drive opportunities. Publishing is doing the same thing, thought leadership, but through the written word, a book, a blog, or something like that. Broadcasting is the same kind of content, but you do it through video, through radio, through a podcast or something like that. And then finally, networking, which is cultivating your audience, cultivating your community, your relationships, referrals, and things like that. I recommend having at least one item in each bucket. Now, you don't have to build all 4 of those all at once. In fact, I would probably start with networking first because you can tap into your existing community. But that is what I would look to have eventually, is one in each at least of those categories. If you are enjoying this content, and I really hope you are, then please subscribe to my channel right now. Click like on this video, post a comment below, and maybe even hit the little alert button so that you get a notification every time I drop a new video. Thank you. The 5th thing that I recommend in marketing is a way for you to keep it light, a way for you not to spin your wheels and reinvent the wheel over and over and over again. It's a way to capitalize on the work you've already done. What that is repurposing. Now, the first time that I had my mind blown by the idea of repurposing was watching Rory Vaden. He's a New York Times bestselling author. He's a speaker, and he spoke to my community and to my $1 Million speaker group and shared the way that he repurposes all his content. And he inspired me to start repurposing this content. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by repurposing. I am recording this video for you right now. I've done some homework to create this video. I did keyword research, I found questions that people are asking, and I put together an outline and I'm recording this video. Once we publish this video to YouTube, YouTube does us a huge favor. They take the video and they create a transcript for us for free. We take that transcript, we drop it into a blog post with the video embedded, and now I've got a second channel for using this video. I've got it on YouTube, and now I've got it on a blog with the video, which also creates views for YouTube, and it creates keyword traffic to my website. Then we take that blog post and we pull the first 2 paragraphs and the screenshot of the video, and we drop it in an email and we send it to our whole community, our whole list. And then we sometimes take little snippets of it and we throw those into LinkedIn or into Facebook. How amazing is that? So we've got all these different channels that we're able to touch with this one piece of content. And finally, but actually not finally, because I decided I'm going to give you one more bonus item after this one, is to nurture your people. Part of building a butterfly garden is to keep giving something that the butterflies are going to stay for, right? So that they don't get bored. I don't know if butterflies get bored, but you know what I'm trying to say. And so what that means is once you've attracted people in with your blog, your YouTube, your posts, your social media, then you want a way to engage them and connect with them on an ongoing basis, aka to nurture them. And the absolute best strategy that I've found to do that might surprise you because it may seem a little old school, and that is email. I am still a big believer in email for nurturing a list. What I found is that when people are really engaged and when you deliver really great content on an ongoing basis, people will open your emails. They will click on the links. And so I highly recommend coming up with a landing page, a lead magnet, some sort of way to be able to enroll and capture people into your list. And at the end of this video, I'll share with you my capture lead magnet page so that you can become part of my community and you can receive my emails. But I'm not going to do that yet. Before I do that, I have one more bonus item for you. The reason this item is a bonus item is because it's not strictly about marketing. Kind of is, but it kind of tips over into sales. And that is all roads lead to a meaningful conversation. In the coaching space, when what you're offering is life-changing work and you need people to be really engaged and really committed, there's no substitute for having a conversation, a meaningful conversation. I got that term from one of my coaches, Mark LeBlanc. And what that means is that instead of trying to sell to people through your marketing, like sales funnels and webinars and all those things, which are great for programs and online courses and things like that. But if what you're selling is coaching of any kind, group coaching, private one-on-one coaching, then I'm a big believer in you must have a meaningful conversation. And all the things that you do out in the world need to lead to let's hop on a call, let's connect, let's get to know each other. Now, they don't have to be long. They can be short. And in fact, I have a whole bunch of videos on how to run these meaningful conversations, how to run a discovery call, how to run a strategy session. I highly encourage you to check out those videos. I've linked to them below. And trust me that you'll want to hop on the phone with people if you're going to be enrolling them into any sort of significant kind of commitment or coaching program. Now, if you want something really cool, I'm going to offer you the opportunity for free to have a conversation with me. So you can do that by going to superstaractivator.com/go, and you can sign up for a free 15-minute discovery call with me, or there are other options there as well if you want to go even deeper. I look forward to meeting you.